I think the struggle of this year, I really like to keep myself up and have a good chance to be successful under more stressful situations. Go to college and get a career, make some money.
My plans for the future are to go to GCC for 2 years and then transfer to Roberts Wesleyan into their nursing program, and then hopefully become an RN and work in the emergency room. My favorite teacher is currently Miss Tomasulo. She is always my escape, and I can go down to her room and talk to her about anything. I've cried in her room, we've yelled, and it's honestly just my safe place in the school.
My favorite teacher in Pioneer High School would have to be Mr. Job. He's a living environment 9th grade teacher. He's my favorite teacher because every time I went to class, he would have some cool setup for us to learn on. It was always hands-on, and I personally hated living environment, and he made me like living environment. Every single day I looked forward to going to his class because we had something to look forward to going in his class and seeing. My favorite memory in Pioneer is the homecoming games. Every year in Pioneer High School before COVID, there would always be people in the crowds, all the students getting along, the parking lot's filled front to back, and it was just always a good time. Everyone's cheering on the team.
My plans for the future after high school, I am going to be following in the footsteps of my dad, working at his business, working in the repair shop, and doing signs, and I also plan on pursuing my racing career. Well, I've definitely had a lot of favorite teachers, but I want to say one of my favorite teachers that I had was my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Galvin. She had a lot of motivation, and she was just a legend. I promised her one day that she'd be a part of my pit crew, and don't worry, Miss Galvin, I'll still live up to that promise.
My favorite teacher at Pioneer is Mr. Winkowski. I've known him since I took his 10th grade English class, and I took his class again in 12th grade creative writing, and in 10th grade my father passed away, and he went out of his way to make sure that I was doing okay, and he even had the class send a card, and yes, I do have this card to this day. I know it sounds kind of stupid, but yes, I still do have it. It's actually by a picture of my dad that I read it often when I'm feeling down. Mr. Winkowski is kind of like a dad to me because he keeps an eye on everybody in his class, and then actually recently a classmate in my creative writing class was mentioning about creeps at her work, and he said, "I'll go fight him, I'll back him off because that's weird, because you're a young lady and you shouldn't have to deal with all that bull crap." My favorite memory at Pioneer, I would have to say, is being a part of marching band. But the most funnest memory, I know funnest isn't a word, but oh well. I would have to say is me and my best friend were at our first competition for marching band in Jamestown, and it was just after we performed, after we got out of our show clothes. She's like, "Get on my back," and I'm like, okay, I guess. So then she decided to run past the University of Buffalo. They were about to go on competition, and what does this dumb person do? She falls. We fell down a tiny hill, and we were laughing, and UB's just staring at us like, "What's wrong with these kids?" And I'm like, "Just let us have fun." And it was 8 o'clock at night, and let me tell you, the food at marching band competitions are amazing, but not as best as my aunt's cooking, but it's good food, and there's always good experiences, especially competitions at marching band. And honestly, being in marching band is one of my favorite memories, because you get to go to competitions, meet people from other schools, make friends, and just experience different kinds of cultures and stuff, because obviously not all of Western New York is all one people. You get to interact with people who are indigenous or African American. It's really cool because you get to experience people from all different parts of New York, especially when we went to Syracuse University for state competition. And being on that field, it actually made me feel that I worked so hard to be there, because I never done color guard before. This was my first competition, and it just felt amazing that me and the rest of the band and color guard could be able to pull something together. And we actually won, I believe, 6th place, out of all the schools that went there.